Hey neighbors, welcome to our Huntington Matters candidate interviews for the 2026 primary election. This is our first one. I am June Margolin, president of Huntington Matters, and joining me today off camera is our vice president, Dana Richter, who's filming, and our director, Diane Shaber, who's monitoring the audio. Our goal is to help you get to know your choices on the ballot so you can vote with confidence for you and your family. The people elected to Congress make decisions that affect the cost of healthcare and prescription drugs, Social Security and Medicare, veterans benefits, immigration policy, housing affordability, taxes, public safety, and federal funding that supports Long Island infrastructure, environmental protection, transportation projects, and local services. These decisions impact our families, our businesses, our communities, and our daily lives. This primary election on June 23rd is for registered Democrat and registered Republican voters only. Democratic voters will cast ballots for U.S. Congress in the 1st District and 3rd District, which is all of the town of Huntington. And then they'll also be voting for the New York State Comptroller. And Republican voters will cast ballots only for U.S. Congress in the 3rd Congressional District. So that's the western side of town, Cold Spring Harbor, Lloyd Harbor, half of Huntington, a little more than a sliver of Huntington Station. But we'll get you the links to how to find, do your lookup tool. Early voting begins June 13th. Details on all of this, including the lookup tool to find out who your reps are on the huntingtonmatters.com community calendar on any of our candidate events. And Huntington Matters does not endorse political candidates. Our goal is to provide information so voters can make informed choices for yourselves. Today, we are joined by Mike LiPetri. LiPetri. I did it again.
I told her that.
I know.
I told her. I said, Mike LiPetri.
Am I pronouncing it the northern way?
I don't. You know what? You're just mispronouncing it.
I'm just mangling it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
LiPetri
And there's no
means
excuse.
the stones in Italian.
Because I am Italian. So, yeah.
I expected.
I know.
The Sicilians, I thought we would be united.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah. I'm a little removed from the mothership. But all right. So Mike LiPetri, candidate for U.S. Congress in the 3rd District. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, June.
So we're going to jump right in with our getting to know you questions. Tell us about yourself and why you decided to run for U.S. Congress to represent our community.
So this is wonderful to be here. Thank you so much, June. For all of you viewers right now, so you're aware, in your portion of the district, the 3rd Congressional District is Huntington, Huntington Village, Huntington Station, Halesite, Lloyd Harbor, Cold Spring Harbor, Huntington Bay. That northwest section of Huntington is the 3rd Congressional District. Then it goes west into Nassau and northeast Queens. Just to give the viewers an understanding, like, okay, that's where I am, or that's who I know is in the district. Got it. That's who Mike LiPetri is going to be my representative in the future.
Awesome.
So my background is born and raised on Long Island. Born and raised in Farmingdale Guy. My mother was a nurse. My father worked. She's 42 years in the ICU and CCU. Shout out to my mother. She's very proud of that, and I love touting that. My father worked for Lilco, Keyspan, over there. So I don't come from a political family.
Right.
So for me, it was about we needed a representative to get involved, to make a difference. And my grandfather, actually, who was the one that got me into politics, he said, if you want to make a difference, you have to get involved. I came from a baseball family. My grandfather, he played professional for the Phillies. My dad played college. I played high school. So varsity. So it was all about baseball. And then afterwards, it was what's next. And my grandfather said, you're graduating. You have to be informed. You have to be aware of the issues. You have to know what's going on in the world. And for me, June, I just got hooked. I wanted to make that difference. I found fulfillment in helping people, building better lives for my family, my friends, my neighbors, my community, seeing us grow. So I got involved, whether it be in the Knights of Columbus, Sons of Italy, Sons of AmVets, you name it, all involved in the community, contributing. From there, I was as an attorney. I defended the New York City, I was working for the New York City Law Department, where I defended the NYPD, FDNY, correctional officers.
Wow.
I then went and ran for state office after being in private practice. I took out a Democrat incumbent by knocking on 20,000 doors. So I was talking to the people, June, just like this. This is what I want. I want to have what we have, a wealth of discussion, of dialogue, differing interests to me, the hallmark to a democratic society. That's what we need ultimately, is being able to communicate with people, even if they agree, disagree, have those discussions and come out with great policies. So as a state assemblyman, I was elected. From there, I was the #1 supporter of law enforcement. I voted for tax cuts. I was out there riding along with federal law enforcement, local law enforcement. I was the co-chair of the statewide water quality task force, where I created proactive solutions to preserve and protect our drinking water and upgrade our drinking water and wastewater infrastructure. I was focusing on the next generation, promoting financial literacy in our elementary schools, civic affairs of what we can do, making sure we have informed constituents aware of finances, promoting the mechanisms to create jobs, not just simply find jobs. That's what I want is the next generation common sense approach. When people say, who is Mike LiPetri? He's our hometown voice that we can trust to promote next generation ideas that focus on our future. Because why are we all doing this? It's about protecting our children, our grandchildren, our future, leaving tomorrow to be a better day than today. So for me, I look at that and say, well, there's no other better way than getting involved in politics and putting money where your mouth is. And we hit the ground running. We did a great job. And now from there, I ran for Congress 2 years ago and came within 2 percentage points of victory to winning this seat. So now we're back. We have the support of President Trump, Bruce Blakeman, local leadership, House leadership. Everyone's excited because they see who we are. They see that we're giving the people something to vote for, not just vote against, and ultimately doing what's right, not what's easy. And that's my approach here of what I want politics to be. And people always say to me, they go, it's so tough, it's dirty, it's toxic. Like my opponent is just super dirty against me and just trying to cast lies and insults to bring me down. But it's not about that. It's about, you have to remember what you're doing this for. It's for the people that you're voting for. So let him cast his lies. I'm going to focus on the issues. I'm excited for what's ahead and ultimately giving the voice for tomorrow's generation.
So what years were you in the assembly?
I was in the assemblies 2019, 2021. I was elected in 2018 and then took office 19 through 21.
I think I have to thank you for my Huntington Station sewers.
So sewers were a big push.
I think that you were part of that.
We were advocating throughout the island and the state. It wasn't, listen, no one does anything alone.
No, I know that.
So I give credit to everybody.
Every voice counts.
Every voice counts, but this was something that was very important to me. Was making sure that not only we have sewers, but then just upgraded infrastructure, something we'll get into this later on, the water quality. But I have great ideas that I really want to continue pushing forward to preserve and protect our aquifer for our drinking water for our next generation.
So if we run close to like them flagging me like crazy, I'll let you pick any of the end questions.
Lovely.
And I have a think that you're going to pull the environmental one. I have a
we can do that. We can
whatever you want. It'll be your choice.
That. Safety, affordability, healthcare.
Well, we did safety up front. Because we're neighborhood watch. So okay, so you've answered if you've run or been elected for any political office in the past, and who has endorsed you for your current race?
So we'll go through the top. President Trump, Bruce Blakeman, House leadership, the Speaker, the Leader, the Whip, Nassau, Suffolk, Queens GOP are all in. County legislators, supervisors, all in on this race. You know, this has become now a top targeted seat. And it's really exciting, actually, June, is with that said, I'm excited because we're empowering our voters because now think about it. We have the opportunity to push forward representatives that are not due to redistricting or gerrymandering, et cetera. A lot of other districts all across this nation, Democrat and Republican alike, have been gerrymandered. This district is a top swing district nationally where our vote can decide the fate of the House of Representatives in the majority or the minority. Who you want. So it's very cool.
Once again, Huntington of the trendsetters.
What can we say?
I'm telling you. All right, great. So what do you see as the biggest challenge facing Huntington and surrounding communities over the next decade? And what role should a member of Congress play in addressing it? Affordability.
Hands down, next generation. Affordability, buying homes, raising a family on Long Island, key. I see it firsthand. I'm a renter. I'm engaged. I'm looking to buy a home, raise a family here. So I get it. I have friends. I was just talking to yesterday. I was actually at a baptism, and a couple of friends of mine were at their wedding last year. They got married. They're now living at home, saving in their 30s, saving to then buy a home to start a family. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. No. What we're going to do, interest rates not only need to drop, but on top of it, it's also incentivizing first-time home buyers with tax incentives that they can push towards their home, whether it be construction, paying for mortgage, et cetera. We're going to push that at the federal level.
That's great.
Also lifting the cap to for how much they can withdraw out of their 401k
Yeah.
to put towards a down payment. What I want to do is allow that, lift the cap, remove the tax penalties associated, and allow that go towards home buying. So many people want to do more, but they can't because bureaucracy has restricted them.
Right.
Let's remove that red tape. Let's have the right people in there doing the right thing. They're going to help us. Affordability side. One big beautiful bill helped us with no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security, etc.
My mother's
Lifted the
very
SALT
thrilled
tax cap. Listen, your mother's gonna
about
love
the Social Security.
Your mother's gonna love me because we're gonna even go that even farther,
Wow.
making sure that more of their Social Security is actually in their pockets. I think that's critical for seniors, because ultimately what I say is I want younger generations to stay here and build families, but I want older generations to watch their families grow. Like that's so important.
Right.
It's so disheartening
Right.
when you hear like, I'm going to Florida, I'm in
Yeah.
South Carolina, but my kids are up here. I gotta go.
Or the other way around.
And-
We are hearing that. We heard that at one of the town meetings. That was the Melville Town Center town meeting, where there were families that their kids had to leave because they couldn't
Can't
afford
stay
here.
Can't
And there was a man that was literally crying at the microphone saying, "I get to see my grandkids once or like twice a year."
Exactly. That's sad.
And his daughter is a business owner in Florida, and he made the point that she could have given that revenue here.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
we move on. We digress. We digress.
I do that a lot.
We go forward. So, but the point is that I want to focus on housing. I want to focus on tax incentives. I want to focus on child rearing with the next generation, providing tax incentives additionally for child care, for child necessities to raise your children, baby formula, diapers, strollers, etc. We're going to promote raising families, not raising taxes. That's what I like to say. And that's what people like about me. Why? Because I'm the only guy that has skin in the game. I get it. You know, with my opponents, what they've done, how they've made their money in Congress, making money, trading stocks while in Congress, enough is enough. We got to have it where we're focusing on putting money in the pockets of the people, not themselves.
Great. All right. Next is philosophy. Political labels can mean different things to different people, but within your party, where would you place yourself ideologically? And how does that philosophy shape your priorities for Long Island and the Congressional District?
I'm the hometown voice people can trust. That's what I love to say, because the truth is that now in today's political world, TikTok world, etc. world, it's just 2 seconds, label this, that. No. I'm doing the best for us. So don't give me the BS. Don't try to couch me as something like that. I'm going to stand up for our voice. I did as an assemblyman. I'm going to do it again as a congressman. That's what I love, that the proof is in the actions. I've already done it as a state legislator. So now I'm going to take it to the next level in the federal government.
Great. Are there any issues where you disagree with your party? And if so, how would you handle those disagreements while representing the district?
The beauty about the Republican Party, in my opinion, is that we have individualist ideas where we like to have those arguments, those dialogues, those disputes. And you're seeing it firsthand right now in the House of Representatives and with the president and the Senate, et cetera. So we're gonna have those disagreements whenever they pop up. The key is always talking about the issues, being able to have that dialogue, and coming to a compromise to do what's best for us. So ultimately, if it hurts the 3rd Congressional District, I'm out. If it helps the 3rd Congressional District, I'm all in.
Okay. How do you plan to promote economic growth and job creation?
Job creation is key, and there's twofold. One, the One Big Beautiful Bill really helped that. On the real estate side, it helped with 100% depreciation write-off right out the rip. People that you know, but that helps with in terms of economic growth. In addition, also what I want to promote is for the next generation. Right now, we have student loans for college. Why don't we have any business loans for next generation? It makes it easier with new ideas, new industries, new creation. What if we worked in a
You're talking about bridge loans for students?
No, not for students. For out of high school, now you're graduating, and now if you want to pursue, whether it be pursuing, we create almost these competitions or these banks where people can draw from with the federal government and public and private investment that allows us to stimulate through small businesses, new businesses creating and popping up. That are going to be popping up in your communities like downtown Huntington, for example. Whether it be restaurants or other industries that are not even on the minds of people at the top of our brains, because technology is changing so rapidly.
Right.
We're also seeing new industries, new jobs be created. That's what happened with social media. So it's happening now with AI, et cetera. So I want to continue stimulating that for the next generation and working where it's not just going to college, but it's apprenticeship programs for labor as well, where it's looking at beauty, where it's looking at entrepreneurship, where it's looking at all these diverse choices, not just simply just go to school, go to college, find a job. No. Instead, we're going to help you create jobs.
Great. I have so many thoughts, but I'm not doing it because I will make us run over.
No, that's the whole point, June. These ideas stimulate further ideas.
Yeah.
That's what
I just have a huge problem with the education system being completely focused on college. I really do, because as soon as the kid gets out, like, my kids' friends, they're in the age group. As soon as the kid gets out of high school, they go to their college, they drop out, they do whatever. It's like the school district doesn't care. They just care where are you going in the next 3 months after you leave.
For the reporting purposes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I feel like it's an underserved thing where they don't help support enough. I mean, they offer Wilson Tech, but there's so many more other opportunities that you don't have to give up half your school day for Wilson Tech to go and apprentice at some trades and things like that. And I would like to see more of a diverse push to the trades.
We're also going to have
that's encouraged in the school district.
I really want to work in tandem with the federal government with the big industries to actually go. We have such great schools.
Yeah,
go directly into the schools and cultivate that talent from the ground up. And what that does, it removes the debt burden, but also it immediately provides salary benefits and income for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Right after they graduate.
They really don't realize.
So what we're doing is we're creating incomes right out of the gate, no debt, versus right now, I mean, college is insane, $80,000.
Yeah.
$80,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absurd.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And what's happening is by having a mass push, it's supply and demand still, Jim. Don't forget, mass push of students going to colleges. Guess what? That means they have the demand, they have the supply, so they can keep raising tuitions. So I want to change all of that. I want to make it where we're pushing forward incomes, not debt.
Okay, housing. This is huge. Housing costs continue to rise across Long Island, making it difficult for seniors, veterans, young adults, working families, and others on fixed or even moderate incomes to find housing they can afford. Now, we're not talking about affordable housing. We're talking about housing affordability. Affordable housing, when you are blessed to get down there, you have to change the name of the affordable
what is affordable?
Formula.
That's relative.
You just know this is a you have to change the name of the affordable housing formula. They have to make it not affordable.
People don't
they have to make it
the
workforce housing or
discounted
housing. It has to change because it tortures us as admins.
I understand.
Okay, so housing costs continue to rise across Long Island, making it difficult for seniors, veterans, young adults, working families, and others on fixed or moderate incomes to find housing they can afford. What role should the federal government play in improving housing affordability and increasing the supply of attainable housing options?
So that's what I spoke about beforehand, about making opportunities to actually buy a home, making those ideas that I talked about. Big thing I want to focus on, though, is the ownership. Housing ownership. I do not want to increase rentals. I want to focus on people owning homes. We are in the rental world now, meaning that you rent your music with Spotify. You go and rent your streaming with your movies, whether it be HBO Max, Netflix, etc. You rent your car with leases. I do not want you to rent your home. I want you to own. Right. Ownership is key. And that's going to be important with working in tandem with your local municipalities on the zoning laws, etc. But more importantly is focusing on growth and ownership. And by incentivizing purchasing these homes through different mechanisms, that allows more people to buy homes that they either could not or they did not want to, because then they had to renovate, and the reconstruction of the home is so much that puts it out.
Right.
You buy a home for $750,000, $850,000, but it needs another $200K.
Right. And can you live in it while you save to do that?
Exactly. So by creating these mechanisms in place where people can purchase that, specifically younger generations, first-time home buyers can purchase that.
Right.
And then incentivizing through taxes, like I talked about, that will allow those purchases to occur.
Can the federal government incentivize local municipalities to do pocket zones or something like that, or overlay districts or something? Incentivize them.
I'm sure they can.
Like
I think those,
if they choose to do it, not force them.
No,
But
naturally.
if they choose
the
to
carrot
offer it,
versus
like
the stick.
Huntington actually has a lot of housing options that are diverse. We don't have enough, but we have a lot, but compared to other communities. But just curious.
I think the
if
federal
that's
government can
something they
always
do.
can always work in tandem with local municipalities, but
Yeah.
that's the key, is working in tandem. Unlike Kathy Hochul, who wanted, if you remember, to try to compel the local townships of what to do and mandate and do as they say. That's not what it's about.
Right.
Okay, you cannot compel.
Right.
That's the whole point. Specifically
Right.
in New York State, we have our local zonings. We're proud of that. We're our local home rule pursuant to New York State Constitution. So,
Right.
in my opinion, Kathy Hochul and my Democrat opponent for Congress, they work in tandem. He's beholden to her. So they work in tandem together on that front. I want to have it. We're working in tandem with the local people, with the residents.
Okay. Now, here's a similar question, but different. Do you support federal housing funding earmarked for towns and counties to help address the housing needs of seniors and veterans? This was submitted by one of our board members, and I want to caveat that we're not talking about earmarked funding for the state, because once the money hits the state, it doesn't necessarily come to us.
No, directly to us.
We want to talk about town and county earmarked funding. Is that possible?
Yes.
Do you support that?
I support that, and I would want to work where it's exactly that federal-local interaction.
Yeah.
Direct.
Right.
Just as we're direct here,
Right.
direct. Removing
Right.
that intermediary.
Right. Good.
That's what I love to see,
Yeah.
and I want to see more, especially with New York State. I mean, New York State
Yeah.
right now, the Democrats are just taking our money from Long Island and giving it to New York City. We just saw $8 billion. That's exactly what happened to help close the gap, quote unquote, with New York City. That's only going to be exacerbated next year. So what's going to happen? More of our continuously Long Island just keeps paying for New York City's reckless spending. So I digress.
Okay. I have so many things to say.
I know.
Okay.
Listen, this can be like an hour and a
No. Well,
This could be 2-hour conversation.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. Okay. And there's way more. What should Congress do, if anything, to help seniors remain financially secure in retirement and continue living independently in the communities they call home? So I feel like I want to give you a little half a sentence of backstory to this. This was submitted by a member. We get all these questions from the community, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Thank you, guys.
This was submitted by a member who really was kind of saying that after he's retired and paid off his house, he's like really struggling to pay these crazy school taxes, which I know is not a federal issue, but he's looking for some kind of like relief on the taxes as you age. And we do have STAR and all that. I know that. So I know that the core of his question is this, but the specifics that he asked for are not federally.
Yeah, and the federal side,
it is this.
On the federal side, I'd have to see what we can do in that sense, because what you're talking about, 2/3 of your property taxes go to state, your state school costs, your school funding. So approximately, 2/3 of it.
So could the federal government help seniors some other way?
Well, that's where
remain
the way is.
financially secure.
That's what's going to be with
homes.
less taxes on the Social Security, more tax on Social Security, more money in your pockets on that end, savings, and other ways of investments too over the years for also the next generation. I know this member is looking for immediate response, and that's where it's going to be on the tax side federally. Put more money in your pockets. On the state side, I think it's critical. You talk to your state representatives on that front with how the money's allocated by the state for your tax.
Yeah, we'll save this question for the assembly.
That would be good. Assembly and Senate.
So, when they're
will be
running.
key, because right now there's a formula, foundation aid, etc.
Yes, which was just revised. Thank you, Steve Stern.
So that's key.
So, okay, healthcare. Many Long Islanders are concerned about losing access. This is very real. Many Long Islanders are concerned about losing access to doctors and healthcare systems due to disputes between insurers and providers, including recent Medicaid-related contract disputes affecting major healthcare networks. We're talking about Fidelis and Northwell and Health First and NYU Langone. What actions would you support in Congress to improve access to affordable health care, strengthen provider networks, and ensure reimbursement systems support high-quality care for patients? They're all claiming they don't get paid enough.
So this is where I have a problem
Medicaid.
with the insurance companies that are controlling the system.
Right.
So my opponent is one of the top receivers of donations from insurance companies. I think that we need someone that's going to be independent of insurance companies and actually focusing on our healthcare. But for me, most importantly, is restoring personal, preventative, and portable healthcare. What does that mean? It means I want to have it where the personable doctor-patient relationship is back. No more about billing.
Mhm.
That's what insurance companies demand. Preventative. We want to focus on, at the outset,
Right.
focusing on good health care right now, stifling any issues from metastasizing and growing and evolving, become
Mhm.
huge problems. Case in point is healthcare, where rather than identifying at the outset through screenings, through treatment, et cetera, that you have some blockage in your heart,
Mhm.
you allow that you ignore that, and then what happens is you have a heart attack, and now you have open heart surgery.
Right.
One costs you, say, $5,000-$10,000. The other costs you $250,000.
Right.
And that's the issue of what we're seeing. A lot of the cost drivers as well in healthcare are obesity and mental health. That's some of the major cost drivers for healthcare right
Mhm.
now. By acknowledging at the outset through the preventative model, through screenings, proper nutrition, et cetera, we lower those risks, whether it be on obesity front or on the mental health front, by acknowledging and treating it in the outset. It
Mhm.
prevents it from becoming later problems down the road that causes our costs to grow exponentially.
Yeah.
On the portable side, additionally, by having this system in place that allows it more of an open market, free choice for people to go to the doctors they please, that actually will
Mhm.
treat them
Mhm.
right, et cetera, that
Mhm.
are giving them the quality care that they
Mhm.
want, they feel comfortable with, that have good
Right.
bedside manners, for
Right.
example. That portability will allow the freedom across not just New York State, but across the country that you can choose.
That's great.
And that's going to help. That helps with both on the union side and non-union side. People
Okay.
who are all in this front. I've spoken with numerous people, doctors, nurses, healthcare practitioners, administrators, etc.
Yeah.
The big issue is the insurance companies will fight me on this, but we're about to go to war.
I mean, that's really huge. Like what
Yeah.
you're saying, it's like
Yeah.
literally taking a mountain and moving it from here to there.
Yeah, it's
it's
about
really
it's
huge.
about bringing our healthcare system to the 21st century.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I want to see.
Yeah. And when I just mentally, I'm like, thinking like from the insurance company side, when you talk about the cost of mental health care, it's like, oh, mental health care, that's not important. They'll figure that out. And we'll fund all
But
these
we already
other
do it
things
now
other
with
than that.
cars.
Yeah.
With our car insurance model,
Yeah.
where you have to focus on maintaining your car
Yeah.
with oil change, tire rotations, etc., taking
Yeah.
it occasionally after X amount of miles.
Mhm.
And then if you get into an accident, you have the insurance that'll protect you in
Mhm.
those cases.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're already doing it right now, and it's a matter of taking the responsibility and ownership on our bodies to preserve them for the future, where we have people in their 60s, 70s, 80s
Mhm.
that are in great health,
Yeah.
rather than focusing on pills and medication, etc.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to focus on, but it's going to require proactivity.
Right. All right. We are the Neighborhood Watch, the largest neighborhood watch for the town of Huntington, and I dare say likely Suffolk County. So crime and public safety is incredibly important to us. Residents have expressed concerns about gang-related crime and drug trafficking. What federal measures would be most effective in reducing the root causes of these problems?
So I was the #1 supporter of law enforcement as a state assemblyman.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote along with Nassau Suffolk Police. I wrote along with federal law enforcement who removed illegal aliens like these gang members, like MS-13. One of them was MS-13 gang member who was wanted for double murder, and by Interpol as well. So I saw federal law enforcement remove this individual. Another individual was wanted for fondling 2 children. He was a sex predator. We removed him as well. I think that's key, is having strong collaboration between local law enforcement and federal law enforcement to remove gang members and illegal aliens who have committed these heinous crimes out of our country, and focusing on putting American citizens and our veterans first. That's priority for me. A big thing is I want to strip also on the public safety side, is stripping federal funding from sanctuary cities like New York City. I think what's happening is you're allowing these gang members and others to be emboldened and strengthened, and accordingly that will expand out like a web of virus into the island. We've seen that over the time with MS-13 and others. Now you have Venezuelan gang, TDA, that's also causing issues, etc. But nevertheless, those will be priorities. I know
the only Venezuelan gang member arrest, was it in Long Island, or was it even, no, it was outside the city. So it was in Long Island, happened in Huntington.
See?
He was here.
See, that's my point. So we need people who feel safe.
I don't think that there have been many since then.
A big policies I pushed as well. I wanted cop killers to get the death penalty. I believe in also those drug dealers who peddle poison to our youth, our minors, our children, and those children overdose on it. I want to prosecute on the federal side these drug dealers with life, with life without parole.
For murder. Yeah.
I want to prosecute them for murder. It's death by dealer statute. I pushed that in New York State, and state Democrats shut that down. But I want to push that in the federal level now. Okay. And put death by dealer statute. It's called.
Didn't we have that for a while? Didn't Tennessee do that?
No.
It didn't go through.
Well, so on you have to push it in the statewide.
Yeah.
And that's what legislation that I was co-sponsor of. I want to push that forward.
Great.
So on the federal level, we want to see that done.
Yeah.
So if the state won't do it, then we're going to do it. We're going to step in.
Yeah.
So
many things to talk about. Because when you do Neighborhood Watch for 11 years, you have a lot to talk about.
You have a lot.
But I won't. So what federal resources would you advocate for to support local police, fire departments, EMS personnel, and emergency preparedness efforts?
Yeah, total collaboration where you need that. We have to open up the discussions, dialogue, and you're seeing that now in Nassau and Suffolk. But it had that collaboration, and we want to continue that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is huge. Another huge one. I don't know if you saw the other side of the page.
What's happening?
Many Long Island residents support enforcing immigration laws, but there are also concerns about longtime community members being deported and legally present individuals being wrongly detained. How should Congress balance immigration enforcement with due process protections and the realities facing families who have been part of our communities for many years? So when I say many Long Islander residents support enforcing immigration laws, talking about even the people who are opposed to, that protest and all that stuff, they are still in support of the violent criminals being removed. You know what I'm saying? So this is like everybody else other than the violent criminals.
Well, remember, so we have to focus on American citizens and our legal immigrants, those who have followed the law, paid those monies towards becoming legal immigrants, getting the necessary proper documentation, waiting their turn. In addition, American citizens that are paying these taxes and needing these services provided from federal government. So that's my priority. My priority is to be focusing on them. So I support removal of illegal aliens who have violated federal laws, who have not come to this country the legal way, have not waited their turn. I think that's wrong, and that's an insult to my voters and specifically to legal immigrants who I've talked to throughout this district.
Right.
Who are also my voters.
Right.
That have been saying, I paid tens of thousands of dollars. I've waited years. I'm so proud. And for me, it was disheartening to see when the Biden administration and Democrats were just providing handouts, whether it be healthcare, whether it be hotels, whether it be benefits, food stamps, you name it. And it's saying like, why are all our money's going to that and going to them and not us? That means less money for our kids. That means less money for our roads. That means less money for our law enforcement. That means less money for our services. So why would we do that? We're only hindering ourselves and harming ourselves.
Right.
And I think that's troubling to me if we're not focusing on the American citizen first.
So yes, got it. A part of this question specifically discusses legally present individuals being wrongly detained. So we're talking about people that are doing in process. They have waited their turn. It's happened in our community where they're taken by ICE and then
American citizens taken?
Sometimes, yeah.
I don't know any American citizens.
And then held for like a week and a half, and then they go, "Oh, you're good," and then release them.
I don't know any American citizens.
So there's people with green cards. There's people in process, TPS. There's people
temporary protected status.
Yeah,
okay.
There's people that are actually citizens that are, and then we're talking about the Hispanic population, and we know people in our community that this has happened to, and then they go, the agents right there on the scene say, the judge will figure it out. When they're like, wait, I'm this, The judge will figure it out.
Well, if they have a detainer, then the job of law
So that's
enforcement is to
so like they don't talk to us, so we don't know an
So that's the
awful
thing,
lot
is that
about
if there's
how
detainers-
it's working.
Correct. So if you're not hearing, I mean, it's important to know the full story. So
Right.
if
I
these
mean, if they
people
have a DWI,
Right.
if they have
So
another
they have
crime,
detainers that
separate. No, they don't have this.
But do we know the full story, or is this just claims? That's my
There
problem.
are-
Is that nowadays
Right.
we're not knowing the full story.
I understand what you're saying, because you are right. In a lot of cases, I do know of several people that is the full story.
Well, and this is the
And
beauty,
they
is
were
that
held.
as congressmen, then
Yeah.
they'd be able to come to me, and I'd be able to understand the both sides of both cases.
Right. So that
and see
little
what the issue
that
is.
bit, that's a problem. Like they need to that has to be fixed. So that's really the
And that's the beauty about
should-
having a representative that's going to be
Right.
communicative with the district, instead of just simply challenging
right.
and provide and creating division. It's
Right.
important to have that unity where we're having those conversations
Yeah.
and allowing the discussion to unfold. I want to know the facts.
Yeah.
Facts beyond anything else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, today is everyone just puts headlines out there and they don't read any of the facts.
Right.
It's very important. When I voted on legislation, I read the bills that I voted on. I just didn't vote on what the name of the bill was. I actually cared about what I was reading here.
Yeah.
So that matters to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to continue doing as a congressman.
Okay. And more broadly, what would you do to improve or fix the nation's immigration system? Is there anything in the system that you'd like to see change?
Well, I'd love to reverse chain migration, replace it with merit-based immigration. So
Okay.
having immigration come through, 70-80% right now is due to chain migration.
Okay.
One person comes through, and then 5, 6, 7 of their family members also come through.
Follow. Right.
So instead, it's the inverse. It's going to have merit-based immigration, where it's only those people who are contributing to our society and are going to be employed, open up shops, businesses,
Mhm.
or have a certain amount of skills
Mhm.
that for some reason or another are not available that could help contribute to our economy.
Which may actually help solve the TPS black hole for
So-
people who are here on TPS, and then then it's really a challenge to get into the citizenship pipeline because of the way it is. Because if you have that, then that helps them. That helps them actually access some pathway to citizenship.
Well, on top, we have to focus on closing the asylum loopholes,
Right.
because too many people
Right.
are just coming here claiming asylum that don't deserve it.
Mhm.
That's not falling under actual federal law, what describes asylum circumstances. So I want to have it where we're getting an influx of we're focusing on American citizens, and then only when American citizens cannot fulfill jobs or skills, et cetera, then we would have that system in place that allows others to come into this country that can then contribute to the system, not draw from our benefits from welfare, et cetera, that only acts as a burden than a benefit.
Have you talked about the merit-based thing? With
Yeah,
your
I've
colleagues?
spoken to a lot of people
Is it
throughout.
somewhat
No, I think,
receptive? do
I
you
mean, it
think?
depends who we're talking to, but
Right.
these ideas are new approaches that Republicans have tried to push forward, but then it was shot down in the last Congress. So we want to have it where Republicans now can unite and push this forward. Again, after 2026, when people vote for Mike LiPetri, they're going to have a new voice for us.
I have to research that one. That's
It'll
interesting
be
to
good.
me. All right, great. Veterans. Long Island has we're good. Long Island has a large veteran population. What would you do to improve access to high quality health care, mental health care, and support services for local veterans and their families? To note, high quality health care. That seems to be a complaint.
So when I was in the assembly,
Mm-hmm.
Democrats look to remove mental health funding for veterans. We actually advocated alongside veterans to restore that health care fund, the Joseph P. Dwyer health care fund. And that was actually started by Lee Zeldin, former congressman, gubernatorial candidate, now EPA administrator. And that was something that we pushed forward and continued as a state legislator. In addition, we also advocated for our veterans and Gold Star families particularly, to have free college tuition when Democrats wanted to give that to illegal aliens. And then finally, we also pushed to have the permanent director appointed to the Division of Veterans Affairs in New York State, when that job was vacant for years before we came New York State. There was no permanent director.
What?
So we needed a permanent director, and that was done. So I was really proud of those accomplishments. So on the veteran side, we're continue pushing that forward. We're actually going to I want to push forward for the right to try for veterans. Many times they're undergoing therapy and other types of services for mental health that are just not helping. And there are more experimental treatments out there, but they're not currently FDA. And I would like to allow veterans that ability to right to try after they've exhausted all the other options that can help provide them for the treatment that currently is happening elsewhere throughout the world. The United States at this moment hasn't pushed that forward. So I'd like to advance that. I know veterans I've spoken to have been asking for that, and they want that to push that. So I'd like to be an advocate for them. My grandfather served in the Korean War. He was a veteran. I was part of the Sons of AmVets, helping out veterans over the years before even a state legislator. I was just doing that, as I told you in the beginning, throughout my community, get involved and contribute towards aiding veterans, whether it be those who are hungry, those who are homeless, or those who are just combating PTSD. I mean, right now, 22 veterans a day commit suicide. So that suicide prevention, in addition, is very key. So that's been something that's been near and dear to my heart for decades, and I'll continue that in the Congress.
I'm not aware, but is are veterans through their benefits, are they allowed access to like chiropractic and acupuncture and things like that?
I have to look at that.
I'm not sure. I'm just, if you knew off the top of your head, I'm not.
I know in addition, I'd like to.
I'm just curious if they get access to the same thing that we would.
Well, in addition, I'd like to make that where all those honorably discharged veterans would have the access to healthcare for treatment wherever they want. It doesn't have to go strictly to Northport.
Right.
So that's been something that's also very important.
Important.
And again, that's in this age of portability,
right,
where they're not bound to a certain hospital. You can just go wherever, whenever, and it's a thank you for your service. You sacrificed for us, for our freedom. Freedom came at a cost. And we're here to protect you. So that's what I want to have, where now they know Mike LiPetri stands by our veterans.
Okay. Environment. We made it. We made it to environment.
See,
we're doing it. We're doing it.
Compact, concise.
All right. Protecting our water quality and environment. You're the man.
Let's go.
Share what you plan to do in this area. You have a lot of experience with this.
I want to upgrade our recharge basins, and I want to create injection wells.
How do you do that?
So many of our recharge basins throughout Huntington, throughout Long Island.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, we're in an aquifer. Picture it like a glass of water. We have the glass of water, but we draw from it out of a straw, and nothing is recharging, filling it back up. So what we're doing is by having these recharge basins, catch basins throughout, that will allow water to fall in from rain, permeate down, filter through naturally into the aquifer to recharge it and refill it back up. Additionally, injection wells will be throughout the island and all up from the North Shore and South Shore, that will allow these mechanisms to draw out toxic or polluted waters, treat it, and then inject it back to clean it. And the volume of water allows it to be cleaned out. For example, that's also dealing with what the reasons are for saltwater intrusion that you're seeing today.
Right.
But for example, if you drop an ink blot into a small shot glass of water,
it spreads it again.
But it's polluted. But if you draw that same amount of ink into a pool or a ocean, the volume of water cleans that out. So you need a large volume of water that we're not seeing today because we're drawing too much with the population of Long Island, and we're not having enough of the fresh natural water percolate down, specifically with a lot of asphalt that's throughout and developments. What I'd like to see is permeable asphalt.
Because if it hits the asphalt, it goes into the storm drains.
It runs off, correct. Storm drains runs out into the ocean. Or the bays.
Okay, gotcha.
So what we're doing is having it just draw naturally.
Right.
So it doesn't hit the...
But our sumps help, right?
Well, those are the sumps are catch basins.
Right.
And we're going to have, I want to have more of those, but cleaned out. So you have to really clean those out. So you don't have obstructions of any BS crap. You don't have leaves or anything like that. You keep doing that. And that's throughout Huntington, throughout the district, throughout Long Island. We want to see that. And then with the permeable asphalt, we can have that throughout future future commercial developments.
That is cool.
And then what we can do is have our local townships own the maintenance devices. And then when these commercial entities need to maintain it, they can rent it, which will bring revenue to local municipalities.
And the permeable asphalt, is that appropriate for our cold weather environment too?
Yes, I've talked to engineers on that front. I've asked them about that, how it would work.
Yeah.
And that's why the key is about maintaining it. You just can't let it go.
Right.
You have to maintain that.
Right.
But even if you look, I mean, it can be permanent asphalt, or it could be simply like gravel you've seen.
Yeah.
Gravel parking lots or pebbles or rocks, etc.
Mm-hmm.
It just allows the water to percolate, not run off into the sewers. That's key. So those would be great ways to help recharge our aquifer we can draw from in the future. Because you have the Magathy up top, and then you have the Lloyd underneath. Once we breach the Magathy to the Lloyd, that's it. And that's what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I want to keep refilling.
Yeah. I have so many more things.
I know. See, this is great.
Hopefully
your viewers
the plume
enjoy.
And the grubbin and
the plume were big. You would love this, actually. we had 2 plumes in the district when I was a state legislator. One we had fully cleaned up, and the grubbing Navy plume we actually advocated.
You cleaned a plume?
Yeah, over in the West Isa portion of the district. We had DEC come through. DEC was going to the South Shore.
Yeah.
DEC was actually going to push forward a level 2 matter of cleaning, where they would have superficially extracted the top and then cleaned out and then put it back over. And then I objected to as a state legislator and challenged them, and I wanted the full underneath cleaned up.
Is this the part?
And then this is all the way in South and West Islip.
The
Zeus Fastener site it was.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Second question. Long Island faces challenges from coastal erosion, flooding, and severe storms. We get slammed so bad now. It's so bad that our homeowners, we're down to like 3 providers for homeowners insurance with down Huntington. Yeah. Because we get slammed so bad with the flooding. And we're high. Anyway, what federal resources would you work to bring to our area to protect our shoreline communities?
Flooding, that's what I was talking about, the saltwater intrusion you're getting from the aquifer, and the flooding. So how it works is fresh water pushes off salt water. It's a natural barrier.
Okay.
Again, we have that underneath the island. It acts as like our natural borders. As you draw more from the aquifer, it's weakening. And that's why you're seeing more flooding and intrusion, because that's weakening. It's not holding off as a barrier that it normally did for decades. So by us recharging, you're re-strengthening beneath the island that water that will stave off floodings that you're seeing. And in addition, we want to work on the homeowner side with resilience that we want to push forward with. When we build homes, we want to advance more resilient structures that are adverse to natural effects from storms, winds, etc.
Right.
So it's all that next generation that we want to promote and incentivize on the federal level for buildings.
And
so when you were talking about
and renovating.
Correct. And what you were talking about with working collaboration, federal and local, this is an example.
It has to.
This is an example though of federal local.
It's literally the only reason why we have our sewers. Seriously, we would still be waiting.
So I'm really excited with all these questions
this
of how not only this, but all it's how it's a web. It's nothing is just in a vacuum separate.
Correct.
They're all interrelated, interconnected in some way. So when people talking about issues, it's like, well, we go back to veterans, we'll go back to housing, let's go back to seniors.
Right.
Like, let's go back to next generation. Talk about housing. We're just talking about housing. Now here we are.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have a representative that actually understands this web and not just simply spouting talking points, but much more depth, I think, is needed in today's day and age.
Very good. So we have 2 questions left and then the closing. I'm deferring to my director here.
I only have a few minutes myself.
Okay, great.
Right. I just have a few minutes myself.
Our transportation and infrastructure, what specific transportation projects in Huntington and the surrounding communities would you prioritize in Congress, and how would you help secure funding for them? Examples: downtown revitalization, pedestrian safety, infrastructure upgrades like we've been talking about, local bus transit improvements.
Really simple. I talk to local supervisors, council members, county legislators, and Huntington Matters to know what's top priorities. Frankly, I hate when someone comes in and just says like, "This is what matters the most to you." Well, let me talk to the residents. Let me talk to the people. Because also, don't forget, we're talking about this in June of 2026. Let's see. I'm going to be in January of 2027. We're going to win this. You're going to vote Mike LiPetri in the June 23rd primary, and then November 3rd election. And then in January, we'll come forward, and I want to see top priorities that we can work together on.
That sounds great. And then foreign policy, what are the biggest national security threats facing our country, and how would you address them?
So I think it's really important that we support our Jewish community. I think we're seeing a rise in anti-Semitism from the left. Specifically, we're seeing it in New York City and beyond. And I refuse to allow the Democrats to take the majority in the House of Representatives that can threaten the safety and security of many of our Jewish residents and Jewish voters in the district. I was at the World Summit for Counterterrorism in Israel, where I saw firsthand the threats of the Terror Republic of Iran. I've spoken with the heads of the IDF and the Mossad as well, learned of what those threats are and how important it is to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, stop Iran from funding terror cells that threaten the safety and security of America, and ultimately our future survival depends on this destruction of the IRGC and beyond that ultimately want to destroy our people. So I cannot have that. I refuse to have that. We've seen many during the time of the Biden administration. Many illegal aliens were also on the national terror watch list, and that's a big problem of how many actually came through the border that want to threaten us. So we have to have strong support in the foreign policy side. Peace through strength is critical, and I think it's really critical that we go after those who have been threatening us for decades. I've had actually an older cousin. He was killed in the Beirut bombing in Lebanon from the Ayatollah and his minions. And so I'm grateful that Ayatollah is killed and dead. And I'm looking forward to seeing a peaceful world in the future through having our strength.
That's great.
Yeah.
When were you there?
I was there in 2022. There was the World Summit for Counterterrorism, Herzliya. So I was at Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Herzliya, and I want to talk to key figures and those on the national security side, and then even those who are part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force for FBI and New York City JTTF. And I think it's critical that we
I think it's a complete, you kind of have to go to get the total perspective.
Yeah, and I think it's important that I recognize Israel is our only ally in the Middle East, and we have to have a strong partnership with not only on the weapon side, military side, but also on the intelligence side. People don't recognize that, of how crucial that is. And for the next generation, the wars are not going to be just through militarily. It's going to be through intelligence, through economic, on the economic side, and most importantly, cybersecurity side. So that's where me as the next generation has real skin in the game. Like I care about not only the next 2 years, but the next decades in advance. And my opponents, both of them, the primary side and general side, they're done. They made their money. They're all good. They're not here for decades in advance. That I'm trying to raise children. I'm trying to have children, raise children. Friends are, family members have grandchildren. Like that's what it's about. So we need people that are focused not just in 2 years, but on the next 10, 20 years.
I wish we had 2 hours. In closing, if elected, what are 3 specific things you hope Huntington residents will be able to point to 4 years from now and say, this happened because our representative delivered for Long Island?
That happened to me when I was an assemblyman.
It's so cool, right?
It's the best feeling. I had a woman come up to me. She says to me, "You don't remember me. You knocked on my door last year, but I'm satisfied with my vote for you."
Wow.
I want you to know that. It was the best feeling ever. It was really a great feeling on the safety side, on affordability. It's going to be a myriad. It's going to be more so what's going to happen is people are going to hear me, and as a representative, they're going to be like, my congressman is saying exactly what I want my voice, or how my voice to be heard. My congressman is saying this. My voice is being heard because Congressman LiPetri is saying it. And then on top of it, you're going to see me push forward on the water quality side, on the safety side, on the affordability side. Like there's so many multitude of issues. I'm not someone that just takes my time. I'm getting there day one. We're hitting the ground running. We're pushing forward. We're working with people. We're talking to everybody we need to talk to to push forward these policies. I'm in there to get policies implemented, not to just be there to have a seat.
Gotcha.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Many people go into office because they just want a title. They want this. They want to have this facade. No. I'm there to get. This is a mission. I got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in this because I got sick of people who weren't doing anything, and that's why I got into it for myself and my family and my friends and my community to have a voice.
All right.
So vote Mike LiPetri. Republican primary early voting starts June 13th to
Mhm.
June 21st.
Mhm.
And then primary day, June 23rd. Follow me on social media at Mike LiPetri.
Mhm.
That's where you can find me, MikeLiPetriForCongress.com.
Yep.
If you want to donate to my campaign, would love that. Thank you, because every dollar makes a difference. And in this world, you have to cut through the noise. And one way to do that is through donations, which help towards campaign ads, literature, flyers,
Mhm.
social media, you name it.
And if you are a Republican living in District 3, this is the team, we're interviewing him. This is your candidate, basically.
I'm your guy.
There's two different Republicans running for the same seat. So you have to get out and vote. They're in the semifinals. I'm told this is
That's what the primary is.
That's a great analogy to the primary. So it's super important that you guys cast your vote now for who you like, because whoever you like who wins this primary is the only choice that's going to be on the November ballot for this position. So
it's like the Knicks, the Eastern Conference champions. That's what I'm trying to be, the Eastern Conference champions, like the Knicks.
yeah.
And then we win the finals. Fingers crossed.
So every vote counts, whether you vote or not. Someone will be elected to make decisions that affect your daily life. Get to know your choices at the polls, decide what matters to you and your family, and get out and vote. A special thank you to Laura Palacios from American Investment Planners for generously hosting us in her beautiful Huntington office and helping make these candidate interviews possible. Primary election day is June 23rd, with early voting taking place June 13th to June 21st. Make a plan to vote and make sure your voter registration and party enrollment are up to date. And you guys will be the coolest ones who get to use the touchscreen voting now.
Very cool.
You can find this interview, additional candidate interviews, election information, links to look up your congressional district, and links to the candidates' campaign websites at huntingtonmatters.com. And thank you for joining us for this Huntington Matters candidate interview. And we will see you actually at 12 o'clock for our next interview, which is with Lucas Venturis.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Mike.